Well, today I'd like to talk about helmets. And the real short version is, I think they're a good idea to wear, but I want to talk about why. So I'll be right back. You guys can watch the horses play and exercise a little. I'll just be a second. Okay, so the first thing I will say is that this video isn't at all, in any way, shape, or form, sponsored by any helmet manufacturer or store. So I'm not advocating a particular brand, although I do like particular brands. And I'm not trying to sway anybody over using one over another, or to use one or not to use one. It's totally up to you, but I will explain how I feel about it. I've been asked, I've tried to kind of, I don't know about stay out of it, but I think that a lot of people kind of talk about helmets, and some people feel one way or the other rather strongly about it. I will say that I feel, without a doubt, that helmets are a good idea. And the reason is that you have one more piece of equipment on you that can, especially for your head, that can stop an injury from happening. And I'll explain why. So, first thing I'm going to do is get my helmets organized here, and we're going to talk about what helmets are a good idea for riding horses, or doing any activity for that matter, whether it's bike riding or skateboarding or something like that. The biggest, the most common place to hit your head when you fall off something is usually the back. It's not like I have some kind of study done, or I read a whole bunch of papers or something like that, but you see it a lot. It depends on how you fall off, obviously, but a lot of accidents happen. You end up falling kind of backwards, and you hit the back of your head. So to me, the most important part of the helmet is how it protects the back of your head, and how well it stays on, how well it fits, that kind of thing. So, for example, let's take a basic bike helmet. Now, this is a kind of a kid's bike helmet, but I do have an adult one here as well. Same thing. These helmets are, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like much of the shape of them, how much they actually will accentuate the hit at the back. I mean, obviously this is for larger impact. It'll maybe absorb that impact, and that's why they're probably built that way. But to me, I'd rather have it a little bit flatter to absorb. But more importantly, actually, you'll see the back isn't built downwards much. So when your head does go in here, you can see this strap here is visible. You can see it. It's very clear. It sits at the base of your neck, or sorry, the top of your neck, the base of your head, and it sort of holds the helmet on nice. It's a good strap. I like the construction of this particular helmet. I don't wear bike helmets anymore. I don't advocate anybody around me to wear bike helmets. for the reason that when you do go and hit the back of your head, these will have a harder time. Plus, if you do hit, say, for example, a rock, and this part hits, you have zero protection there. That's great for the sides and maybe the front. They do look kind of dorky, but you know, whatever. So same deal with the kids one. You can see this big strap. They got some nice reflectors on here. I like reflectors. Great for riding at nighttime. For bike riding, again, bike riding. I mean, you rarely see snowboarders, for example, who always hit the back of their head, wearing a helmet, something like this. So, busy horses. Here's another kid's one. This one's a little bit better. It comes down a little bit lower. You know, I'm not advocating Disney here, folks, but you know, I think they put their brand on a better helmet, maybe, in regards to back here. Kind of ugly. Bit cheap, but it does work. But again, you know, I always advocate a little bit better. Well, there goes the dog. Okay, so put those helmets off to the side. Bike helmets, inappropriate for horse riding. Do not wear them. I will say that. That's a stance I will definitely take. These are not appropriate for horse riding. Do not put your kid in them. Don't put one on yourself. If you've got nothing, maybe it's okay, but spend a little money. Buy a good helmet, and I'll explain that in just a second. But bike helmets, no way. They're out. Not for horses. Okay, moving on to your typical show helmet. These things are lovely felt. Ooh, it's so soft and nice. And they've got a decent amount of padding inside. I'm good with that. Very poor support in the back though. And again, you know, it just doesn't come down in the back enough for me. And very flat. Looks nice, I suppose, you know, for that particular culture. That's what people wear and what they do for that. So, but I'm not a big fan of these. I'm not saying don't wear them. Again, I'll say if this is all you have, this is what you can afford, or this is what you really want to wear, it is better than nothing. And it will protect your head for certain falls. So, not the best though. Oh, these guys are going nuts behind me. Good entertainment. Here is a helmet that I like. And again, this isn't a sponsored video. I'm not advocating this one particular company. I'm advocating a style, because I actually have two here that I like. One is mine. This one is not mine, but this is the one we put our kids in. And here's the difference. That back of the helmet comes down really far. You can't see that strap inside anymore. Actually, there isn't one, but there's a big piece of padding. But if there was a strap like that, you can see here that it wouldn't be visible anyway. Let's go a little lower. Something like that. You wouldn't see it because the back of the helmet comes down far enough to protect the base of the head and the top of the sort of your spine, your neck, from hitting back here where you're likely to hit when you fall backwards. So I advocate a helmet that sort of fits and covers this amount. It's got great air holes in it because you're always getting hot riding. Yeah, sweat a lot in helmets. That's probably the top reason why people don't wear helmets. I understand that. There's times I don't wear a helmet. I'm not saying I wear a helmet all the time. And again, this isn't about absolutely wearing a helmet. So take that for what it's worth. Here's mine, same deal. It is sort of an in-between. So our kids definitely get a little bit more protection than what I get. I really like this helmet myself. It's got this sits a little bit lower than what those do. But it does come down in the back a little bit and is light, a very light helmet. So, you know, I'm not saying you have to do something. There's a absolute one way to do things. There isn't. But there are better ways to do things. Bicycle helmets are not for horses. They're not accepted here at all. If any kids that I teach here, they don't wear bicycle helmets. They wear equestrian helmets, and they're usually pretty good. So, so that's my take on the design of helmets. You know, try to find one that's light, got air holes in it in the top. I mean, this one's the best. As far as I'm concerned, from the helmets that I have seen on the market, maybe it's a plug for Tipperary, I don't know. You guys did a good job, good design. It's light, it's very well padded. They provide extra padding. So you can see on the back, there's that extra padding. You can take that out and put in thinner padding if your head gets a little bit larger. Not much though, these things should fit kind of snug. So, although, I don't know about that. Oh well. But great design, really quite light and good at nary. Now, on to the subject of if you should wear a helmet or not. I think so. And the reason I think this is because anything can happen on a horse. You can fall off of balance. You could be going up a hill, down a hill. You could be on a trail. You could be any reason of poor balance that you could fall off. And of course, then you're riding a horse who is a live sentient creature that has feelings and thoughts and fears and all that stuff that can spook them, you know. And if they do get scared, they can move very, very fast. I mean, look at these guys in the background. It's one of the reasons I have them back here, and you can sort of see them over my shoulder if I sort of get out of the way a bit. But they're very, very quick, very fast. And they can turn so quickly that even the best horseman can easily be thrown way off balance. But the best horseman would see it coming. That's the difference. Kids, it's a little bit harder. Many adults, still hard. It really requires a lot of hours. And there are a lot of people who do not wear helmets. That's fine. I don't have anything against them. They don't want to wear a helmet, that's cool. I don't have anything against people who do wear helmets. I think it's a great idea. I wear a helmet if I'm horseback riding and I feel like maybe I'm not going to catch everything. Then for sure I'll put on a helmet. I put on a helmet around the kids, be a good example. And then, you know, sometimes I think I'm just going to have nothing really to do anyways. I'm just doing some little stuff. I won't bother. But that's just me. I'm not saying you should do that. So just giving an opinion on this whole deal here. Anyway, so if you are thinking about wearing a helmet, definitely get something that covers the back of your neck. If you are thinking about wearing a helmet and why to wear a helmet, you're doing it because it gives you an extra layer of protection, but this isn't a way to protect yourself from doing silly things. And that's one of the reasons some people advocate against helmets, because if you're not wearing a helmet, you'll be more careful, you'll be more wary. But if you are wearing a helmet, you might be more brave or courageous or risky. And in such a case, you will get hurt. Helmets will not protect you from everything. There's an article recently about a girl who had a helmet on, and she still had to have brain surgery or head surgery, or they thought she was going to be brain damaged. She's going to make a recovery, but she was wearing a helmet. It's not going to save you from everything. And that is so important. Whenever I talk to the kids I teach here, safety is everything. Your helmet is not going to protect your head from everything, but it can protect your head. So I never advocate against helmets ever. Even if the only thing you got is one of these crappy things, put it on. But I don't advocate that. Don't wear bike helmets. But the bottom line is, if you're going to ride horses, it is a better idea. But don't get overconfident about your riding, how you can ride, where you can go. It isn't going to protect you for everything, but there is that extra layer of protection, which is really good. So take that for what it's worth. Again, this isn't sponsored. I don't say you should do this. It's just my input on it. Take it for whatever it's worth. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It's a bit long, sorry about that. But again, I think it's just good advice. So thought I'd give it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.